Hi, I'm Phil. Welcome back to my channel. One of the best things about growing up as a kid was the annual specials that would play on television. Like clockwork, we would gather around the television as a family to watch the annual broadcast of Wizard of Oz, the Rankin and Bass specials, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But without a doubt, none could rival the iconic status of those Peanuts specials. We had the Great Pumpkin, and of course the Christmas special, and Be My Valentine, Charlie Brown. My family would regularly have the Jiffy Pop at the ready for such a viewing. And one of the wonderful things about these Peanut specials is the music from Vince Guaraldi. It was just the jazz music that really helped my appreciation of jazz. That and the uh, uh, Disney movies of the same era. And now my love for vinyl, it plays into all of this because in recent years we've been blessed with some of the most wonderful soundtracks on on vinyl. And Record Store Day has regularly put out stuff in my memory that pertains to this. Now this Record Store Day 2026 is no different, and in fact it's going to be giving us uh, an incredible gem. It's absolutely stunning visually. It's absolutely mesmerizing audibly, and it's historically significant. Today I'm going to give you a look behind the scenes at Charlie Brown's All-Stars and its Arbor Day Charlie Brown. We're talking 60 years of the anniversary for All-Stars and 50 years for Arbor Day, of course, released by Mendelson Film Productions. And this set isn't just a gimmick. It is literally a piece of history that features the final notes Vince Guaraldi ever played. Now, I have to thank Sean Mendelson for getting me an advanced copy of this. Him and his brother Jason, the work that they've been doing over there and restoring and archiving these amazing pieces of music is welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, what's beautiful about these specials is how deeply rooted in Charles Schulz's original strips that these are. Charlie Brown's All-Stars was only actually the second Peanuts special, coming from 1966, however, and it pulled heavily from the baseball strips of the early 60s primarily. There's some from 53 to 59, but the great chunk of them were from 1960 to 1965. And of course, it's Arbor Day Charlie Brown, coming from 1976, took its cues from a series of strips between it's more spattered, of a spattering of 1957, 67, 68, 72, 74, 75. But what's interesting about Arbor Day Charlie Brown, the actual animated special that this soundtrack is coming from, it's not based on an actual storyline. In fact, Arbor Day is only actually mentioned once in a strip from 1970. But now, the Guaraldi Swan Song. What I mean by that is there's special meaning to its Arbor Day Charlie Brown. It is that it was Vince Guaraldi's last production. He had finished recording these tracks on February 6th of 1976 at Wally Heider Studios, and then he unfortunately passed away later that day, in fact hours later, and he was only 47 years old during a performance at I think a nightclub in Menlo Park, from what I recall. Now, when you listen to tracks on this, like Rerun's Lament or Rain, Gentle Rain, again I just want to hold this up, you're hearing the final output of a genius. It marks the end of what fans call the golden era of Peanuts music. And without Vince, the specials really honestly were never quite the same. And Mendelson Film Productions captured it wonderfully here. Now, when you're listening to this, it's I just want to again give credit to Sean Mendelson and Jason Mendelson, because what they're doing over there is amazing. And they brought in Vinson Hudson, I believe, Vinson Hudson for the restoring and remastering of these soundtracks, and Clark Germain for the Arbor Day mix. And the liner notes. The liner notes are spectacular. They are just written by a few different people, and Sean, he dives into the musicology of these sessions. You can tell that this was definitely a labor of love for the Mendelson family. They're not just putting out records, they're preserving their father Lee's legacy and Guaraldi's magical art with amazing detail. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, what about the sign? I showed the sound, and I showed you the presentation here of these. It's beautiful because you've got this baseball in this PVC sleeve here, and then you've got the mitt as well. Yeah, I'm probably going to be replacing the PVC, but this isn't the only version. This is the only Record Store Day version, but it had come out just a week or two ago, actually, in traditional, I believe, a black vinyl and this standard forest green bioplastic version of the album. This is a 33 1/3 album here, and the layout is slightly different with the notes. The artwork is different in areas and same. And the vinyl I'll show you here is this beautiful forest green, as I mentioned. It's an eco-friendly vinyl made from industrial waste gases. So you can see this beautiful forest green vinyl here. And on one side, you've got It's Arbor Day, Charlie Brown. On the other side, you've got Charlie Brown's All Stars. And it is, a very nice colored vinyl there to play. But I have to be honest, the Record Store Day, the 45 RPM version, absolutely destroys the 33 on my system. The 45 speed, of course, allows for more real estate for the sound waves. The dynamics are just wider. Their clarity, the level, the three-dimensional space, it is fantastic what they have done here. And you got a little taste of the 45 if you picked up the last year's Easter one, I believe. But this here, you can actually do a side-by-side and hear the difference. Now, the difference is last year's Record Store Day version it was shaped like an egg, was only selected tracks. This is the complete, soundtracks for both animated short films that would be on the 33 version as well. Now, the sound on the bioplastic one on the green one does sound a little bit more compressed. I think they're actually both made with bioplastic, but it is a little bit more compressed sounding, a little bit more muffled sounding than this one. The 45s, man, the bass response from Seward McCain, the crispness of Guaraldi's electric piano, it just pops. I mean, literally, I thought my needle was going to pop out of the grooves when that bass, that stand-up bass is just... oh my goodness, it rivals the hip-hop albums of the day. If you're an audiophile, this 45 Record Store Day limited edition version is the definitive version to pick up. And whether you're in it for the baseball-shaped vinyl or the history of the Mendelson-Guaraldi partnership, it really is a must-own. It's a spectacular display of musicianship that I just love discovering through doing these reviews. And I've mentioned in the prior videos, realizing things I never realized before because of this. So yeah, highly recommend picking it up. If you're on the fence, what should I pick up on Record Store Day? Think no more. This is absolutely on your must-buy list. I'm sure it's limited. You won't be disappointed. You will thank me, you'll thank the Mendelsons, and you will be anxiously awaiting next year's output that they come with. So which of these two scores is your favorite, by the way? It's compiled of starts and false starts and stuff mainly, not complete songs, but I want to know which of these soundtracks is your favorite. Is it the classic 66 jazz one or the more upbeat electric sounding 76 vibe? Let me know in the comments. Thank you, Sean and Jason and everyone over there at Lee Mendelson Film. I am grateful for this and all the stuff you guys have been doing. I look forward to next year's output where it becomes even more obvious that there is magic in these grooves. I will see you next time.